Welcome back, TCK Potters. I'm your host, Sky Guasco. Another episode of the Candlestick Kids Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm joined once again by my man, Christopher Benavides of the Commish Fantasy Football Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Sky Guasco and the Commish FFP. Chris, we just wrapped up the Week 9 game previews. Now we're jumping in, of course, onto our weekly TCK Listener League breakdowns here. You got the upset last week here. We're going to talk about it. Bobby was quite hyped about the upset. We'll get into it in just a little bit, but let's start here. We're going to get right into it tonight. Let's get right into the Listener League here. We're going to go to the Veteran League. And Chris, before we get started here, man, thoughts on your season halfway through the TCK League. Last year, of course, you fell out of the Veteran League because we have a unique rule that the bottom 4 teams in the Veteran League fall to the Rookie League. The top 4 teams of the Rookie League move up to the Veteran League. How are you feeling, man? You're in pretty good shape halfway through.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like I'm going to get my way back into the Veteran League where I belong. So that's the goal. Eyes on the prize. We're going to stay focused, even though we got a loss last week.
Like to see that. Let's dive right in. Y'all know how we do this. Dumping into our TCK Listener Leagues. We're going to start with the Veteran League, and we'll go with my team first. I'm up against my good friend, No Soup for You. I'm 6-2. No Soup for You, 4-4. I'm going to go with Tannehill, Dalvin Cook, James Robinson, assuming he plays, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller off the bye, CeeDee Lamb, Van Jefferson, the Rams defense, Brady on a bye, Tyler Boyd, DK Metcalf on a bye, and Pat Fryermuth is my streamer as well. But I'm feeling pretty good about my lineup. If James Robinson doesn't play, I guess I would have to go with Alexander Madison. Hey, I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you have the best lineup here, and hopefully it doesn't come down to Alexander Madison.
All right, let's move on to No Soup for You, going with Tua Tagovailoa, Khalil Herbert, Aaron Jones, Adam Thielen, Devontae Parker, Travis Kelce, Carlos Hyde. He's got my handcuff, unfortunately. Your boy Daniel Jones and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense here. A lot of players on bye. Zach Moss and Darius Slayton on the bench.
Yeah, it's the best lineup. I wouldn't touch anybody on that bench right now.
If James Robinson plays, Zach Moss or Carlos Hyde?
Zach Moss.
I agree. Okay, let's move on here to Josh of the Commish Fantasy Football Podcast against Brady for Prez. Josh going with Kyler, Jeremy McNichols, Michael Carter this evening, Brandon Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Mike Gesicki, Jerry Jeudy, Dak Prescott, and Buffalo defense. Notable players on his bench, Laviska Shenault, Emmanuel Sanders, Rashad Bateman. Any changes for Josh?
No, I think Josh is the best lineup here. Interesting start with the Adrian Peterson scenario.
Brandon Ayuk or Laviska Shenault, Emmanuel Sanders?
Probably no, not Shenault.
Or Rashad Bateman, frankly.
Yeah, I'd go with Sanders. Go Sanders.
Okay. Yep. All right, let's move on here to Brady for Prez, going with Justin Fields, Alvin Kamara, Najee Harris, Stephon Diggs, Chase Claypool, Mo Alley Cox, Adrian Peterson, Carson Wentz, and your Patriot defense here. Yikes. Russ on a bye, CMC hurt, Lockett on a bye, Samuel on a bye. A lot of bye weeks. Hawkinson on a bye. Looks like he's got his best team by default.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks. We've all been there.
All right, Hayden Zeke and Lucas Kaser. Hayden Zeke going with Teddy B, Melvin Gordon, Cordero Patterson, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson, Dalton Schultz, Jamison Crowder, Kadarius Toney, and Chiefs defense, Big Ben on the bench, Derek Gore on the bench, AB on a bye, Dallas Cowboys defense. Dallas Cowboys versus the Broncos or Kansas City versus Green Bay with Jordan Love.
Yeah, it seems like he's not playing Dallas defense because he's got his quarterback playing. Mm-hmm. So I just think you got to play your best players, and I think Dallas's defense is better than KC. So I would suck it up and just play him.
Even with Jordan Love in there?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, okay. KC's defense is just terrible. I just don't trust them at all.
I agree. All right, Lucas going with Stafford, Elijah Mitchell, Devontae Booker, Sutton, Tyreek Hill, Higbee, Devontae Adams without Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, and the Dolphins defense. Javonte Williams on the bench, Allen Robinson on the bench, Mecole Hardman on the bench.
Yeah, seems like he's got his best lineup in there. I don't mind the Cortland Sutton play, so I like it.
Okay. Let's go here to Jay Care and Ulysses. Jay Care at 2-6, Ulysses at 6-2. Jake Carrigo and Mahomes, Latavius Murray, assuming he plays, Chase Edmonds, Nuke Hopkins, Debo Samuel, Evan Ingram, Jarvis Landry. Let's see, Keenan Allen and the Chargers defense. He's got Trevor Lawrence on the bench, and that's about it for notable players.
Yeah, seems like he's rolling with his best lineup right now. That's about it.
Ulysses, Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines going tonight. Both Colts running backs going tonight. DJ Moore, Jamar Chase, Jared Cook, Brandon Cooks, like that, double Cook. Joe Burrow and the Colts defense, Jimmy Garoppolo on the bench, Kenny Golladay on the bench, Marquise Goodwin on the bench, and the Bengals defense on the bench.
Yeah, I'd probably find a spot for Hollywood Brown if I could, somewhere in
Brandon
there.
Cooks
maybe,
or Hollywood Brown?
probably for Hollywood Brown. Yeah, I'm feeling that over Cooks this week.
DJ Moore against the Patriots or Hollywood Brown?
Probably, honestly, dude, probably Hollywood Brown. The matchup is just better.
Okay, fair enough. 2 more games here. Dewey's Nuts, 0-8, ladies and gentlemen, going up against the alternate Curly. Dewey's going with Mike White tonight, trying to ride those flames there. Darrell Henderson, Nick Chubb, Jamal Agnew, Justin Jefferson, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, Kirk Cousins, and the Cardinals defense. And the rest of his team is pretty much on a bye or injured.
Yeah, I think that's a good team here. I actually like the Agnew play as well. That was Alex's start of the week in the playbook this week for our the commission newsletter. Agnew's been seeing a lot of upside the past couple of weeks, and they're likely going to be playing from behind again. And so Agnew, solid start. I like his team, a little scrappy for 0-8, which I like.
I benched Allen Robinson last week for Jamal Agnew. Agnew caught a touchdown. Love it. Curly, going with Lamar Jackson, Zeke Elliott, Darrell Williams, A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, Tyler Conklin, Boston Scott, Jalen Hurts, and the Saints defense. Connor, Dylan, Marvin Jones, Russell Gage, Marquez Callaway on the bench.
Yeah, he's playing the best team there. Maybe Callaway in the spot of there was someone up there in the flex position for wide receiver that I didn't really like too much. Boston Scott, that's who it is.
Okay. All right, and finally, in the veteran division here, Hawk Dalladay and Paul. These guys played in the championship last week. Both teams are 4-4 right now. Hawk Dalladay going with Derek Carr, Damian Harris, Eckler, Kupp, Amari Cooper, Dan Arnold, Josh Jacobs, Mayfield, and the Ravens defense. Jordan Love on the bench. Would you put in Jordan Love over Baker Mayfield?
Probably not. No, I would stick with Baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with on the other side here. Paul is going with Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Myles Gaskin, Robert Woods, Cole Beasley, Mark Andrews, Hunter Renfrow, Taysom Hill, assuming he gets a start, and Carolina's defense, Mac Jones, Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, Julio Jones on the bench.
Yeah, he's got his best lineup in there. Yeah, I wouldn't start Mac Jones. Yeah, they're playing Stephen Gilmore and the Panthers. So,
all right, fair enough. Let's take a look at these standings real quick. Ulysses got me by a nose here on the head-to-head, but I do have he's got 4 more points than I do, Chris. So he's in first place. I'm in second place at 6-2. We got Brady for Prez and Curly, the alternate, at 5-3. And then Hawk Dalladay, Lucas Kaser, Hayden, Zeke, Paul, and Nosu for you, as well as Josh from the commish, all 4-4. Jay Carrot 2-6, and Dweez Nuts holding up the rear at 0-8, unfortunately, for Dweez. We'll get right back. I want to give a shout out to our new sponsor here at Care Factor. We'll be back with the rookie division after this.
Hey, TCK Potters and Fantasy Focus community. Are you looking for options for hair loss? There are many options out there for treating it. However, most products treat the cause, such as DHT, and don't do much to support the growth of new and stronger hair. It's like removing harmful weeds from your lawn, but not doing much to fertilize the grass. That's why the Fantasy Focus and TCK team has partnered with Care Factor. Care Factor saw this problem and focused their research on finding just the right combination of biosynthetic growth factors and an innovative delivery system to promote fuller, stronger looking hair. So whether you're a listener who suffers from various forms of alopecia or even stress-related hair loss, The Care Factor treatment is the perfect scalp-friendly solution that can help and influence stronger and healthy hair throughout all stages of the hair life cycle. And now, exclusively for TCK listeners, use the promo code TCK at checkout to get 15% off all products at shop.mycarefactor.com. That's shop.mykerafactor.com. Care Factor, skincare for hair.
All right, Chris, we're moving on here to the rookie division. Let's start up with our team. Brock Funk going up against Drew Reb, won the league a couple of years ago. Funk going with Sammy D, assuming he plays, which, again, we've talked about PJ Walker. He may not get that opportunity. Darrell Williams, Naheem Hines on Thursday Night Football. Mecole Hardman, Jarvis Landry, Mike Gesicki, Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, and the Bills defense. Brady, Goff, Ronald Jones, Evans, Metcalf, all on a bye this week. Cardinals defense against the 49ers or Buffalo defense against Jacksonville?
Yeah, you got to go Buffalo here.
Best roster he's got because he doesn't have anybody else. Okay, let's move on to Drew Reb here, going with Teddy B, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Tyreek Thielen, Kyle Rudolph caught a touchdown last week, Robert Woods, Jordan Love getting the start here, and the Chiefs defense. Looks like nobody else on the squad, maybe Darnell Mooney.
No, yeah, I think he's playing his best lineup right now.
Okay, let's move on here to, the duel of the Brads. I've been waiting for this. Brad 1 versus Brad 2. We got Keeping Up with the Jonesens against Peter Dragon. Love it. Okay, we'll go with Brad 1, Keeping Up with the Jonesens. Lamar Jackson, Carlos Hyde, Aaron Jones, Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle, Dan Arnold, Keenan Allen, Kirk Cousins, and the Cowboys defense. Mac Jones, Emmanuel Sanders, Jerry Jeudy, Brian Edwards, Julio Jones on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's at his best lineup. I mean, Sanders, Jeudy, good, but I think Waddle's a nice start, and you're not going to replace anybody for any of the other positions. I think he's got his best lineup here.
All right, we'll go with other Brad, Peter Dragon here, going with Matt Stafford, Singletary, Darrell Henderson, Claypool, Cobb, Marquez Callaway, Burrow, Rams defense. And that's pretty much it. The rest of his team's on a bye except for Kadarius Toney. So would you go Kadarius Toney or Marquez Callaway?
Probably Kadarius Toney in this one.
I agree. And Kadarius Toney or Randall Cobb?
Probably Kadarius Toney.
I agree. Okay, let's move on here to Jordan and Juan Otts. Jordan at 6-2, Juan Otts 5-3. Jordan going with Wentz, Boston Scott, Cordero Patterson, Sutton, Diggs, Freiermuth, Khalil Herbert, Kyler Murray, and the Steelers defense. Ryan Tannehill, Jeremy McNichols, James Conner on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, he's at Hawkinson on a bye, and Freiermuth has been playing pretty well, so I like that start. Yeah, seems like a good team.
All right. Let's go with Juan Otts here, going with Tua, Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Deebo Samuel, Devontae Adams, Kyle Pitts, Javonte Williams, Matt Ryan, and the Dolphins defense here on the bench. Jacoby Myers, Devontae Smith, Evan Ingram, Carolina defense.
Yeah, he's playing his best team. It's pretty stacked.
Okay. Moving down the list here, let's go with Weston and Kelly in Phoenix. Weston going with Dak Prescott, Chase Edmonds, Mike Davis, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, double Raiders, Tyrod Taylor, assuming he comes back this week, and then the Ravens defense. A lot of guys on a bye. Hunter Henry and Rashad Bateman available. Would you go Hunter Henry or let's say Rashad Bateman or Hunter Renfrow?
No, I think you go Hunter Renfrow here. Obviously, with the news of Henry Ruggs, he's likely going to be their number one target. So Henry Ruggs seems like a good place for me for that flex spot.
All right, weekly shout out to Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's our girl. She's part of the commish team. She's been doing some nice spots in other episodes as well for other podcasts, which I appreciate her getting out there and doing her own thing as far as podcasting and. But yeah, she's one of our contributors. She writes, on the playbook and contributes in other ways. So yeah, shout out to Kelly. It was her past birthday, so happy belated birthday on this podcast, Kelly. And she's been enjoying her time out in Vegas.
Happy belated birthday, Kelly. Man, what it would be to be 23 again. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unbelievable. Derek Carr, Zeke Elliott, Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Damian Harris, Baker Mayfield, 49ers defense, your boy D. Jones on the bench. Everybody else pretty much on a bye. Kelly has a great roster, but just 3-5, Chris.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those scenarios when you play head to head. But yeah, good roster. I think she's playing her best team. I'm always looking to try to squeeze in Daniel Jones, which she knows, but she's got him on the bench this week. It's fine.
Daniel Jones or Baker Mayfield?
I think you got to go with Daniel Jones.
Danny D.
Danny Dimes.
Danny D. All right, Bobby going up against Todd Banta. Todd Banta 0-8 this year. Bobby got the huge upset over the first place commish squad last week, hoping to ride those flames, but just 3-5. Bobby going with Josh Allen, Zach Moss, Melvin Gordon, T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Amari Cooper. No flex, no defense. I love that intimidation. The super flex is going to be Taysom Hill, I'm sure, and he's got to find a defense, which is going to be the Saints. He's got Tyler Boyd, Marvin Jones, Devontae Booker, and Adrian Peterson on the bench here. Would you slot in any of those guys?
Yeah, I mean you gotta slot in a couple here, right?
Super flex is going to be whoever starts for the Saints.
Yeah, it'll probably
He's
be
got 'em
Taysom
both.
Hill. It'll be Taysom Hill. And then on defense, he's has to pick
He's
up
got the
somebody, right?
Saints.
Yeah, he's got to play the Saints. Yeah, I think that's the obvious move there. Yeah, I mean last week, so I lost to Bobby. I'm fairly certain. I don't remember if he played Mike White or not, but if he did, he pulled out all the stops to beat me. You have to say, well, I didn't give him an easy win. He won effectively on the Amari Cooper touchdown at the end of the Dallas game. So it was a last play Monday Night Football scenario.
Boom. Love those last minute dubs, of course, unless they're against you. T. Banta 0-8, unfortunately, going with Mahomes, Elijah Mitchell, James Robinson, Nuke Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz, Michael Carter, Ben Roethlisberger, and the Broncos defense, Kenyon Drake, Myles Gaskin, Allen Robinson, Laviska Shenault, all on the bench. Anybody to sub in here?
No, I think he's probably playing his best lineup. The only thing I'll say is, I kind of mentioned this to everybody, get your starters on Thursday night out of flex spots, just in case. Just in case.
That is one. And he's got in the flex, and now he cannot flex a position, unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay. We save Chris at 6-2 going up against Megatron. Shouts out to our girl Megatron all the way out in the UK. Big up. She's in the middle of her American Football League season. She plays American football in the UK. Shouts out to our girl Megan, big time TCK follower. Chris, you're going up against her this week. Tough component. 4-4 for Megan. You are 6-2. Megan going with Jimmy G, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman on Thursday Night Football, Tyler Conklin, Cole Beasley, Colts defense, and Justin Fields. Then we have Kenny Gainwell, Nelson Aguilar, and Brandon Ayuk on the bench. Any subs?
No, she's playing her best lineup. She also has a really good team. Like, surprised she's 4-4. That's a good squad.
Perfect. And then we have the commish squad headed by the one and only Christopher Benavides, Jalen Hurts, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Dallas Goedert, Kenny Golladay, Justin Herbert, and the Patriots defense. Let's see. I mean, you got Swift on a bye. You've got Geno Smith on a bye. That's got to be tough. You got Hubbard and Van Jefferson on the bench. You got Fant and Godwin out. Looks like your best squad this week.
Yeah, the only move I'll make is if CMC doesn't play, I'll probably swap Chuba Hubbard in for Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. Got it.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, except for the upset last week, you've been riding high. But with that loss, Jordan has caught up to you. You're still in first place due to points, but you're both 6-2. Kamish and Jordan Della Valle, of course, TCK's own, in first place in the rookie league. Peter Dragon, Juan Otts at 5-3. Then you have Brock, Drew, Reb, Weston, and Brad keeping up with the Joneses, as well as Megatron, your opponent this week, all at 4-4. Kelly and Phoenix, part of the commish crew, and Bobby, of course, the co-host here at the TCK Pod, all 3-5. And then Todd Banta, unfortunately, at 0-8. Any last messages here for the TCK Pod episode, Chris, before we sign off?
No, guys, good luck. Guys and gals, I should say, good luck. I know we talked about it. We're halfway through the season already, so let's just enjoy what time we have left with one another. And when you play my team, I hope you lose.
Oh, wow. Love that. Love that. A little sweet and salty. A little sweet and salty, my man. Well done. Chris, it's always a pleasure. Once again, let everybody know where they can find the Commish Fantasy Football Podcast and the free playbook. And last I checked, free means it doesn't cost any money. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct. It's not behind a paywall, so it is 100% free. Yeah, so you can go check us out over on all the notable podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, and Google, Amazon Music, if that's your platform of choice. We are on all of those. The Commish Fantasy Football Podcast. Our website is thecomishbrand.com. You can check us out and go cop yourself the playbook that we just talked about. It is free, drops every Tuesday. It's the Commish newsletter, www.thecomishbrand.com/the-playbook. And then our social media handles at the Commish FFP, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
Love it. Always a pleasure, man. Beach chiming in one more time. Good episode, guys. Good night. Everyone enjoy Thursday night football. Hope if there's any Braves fans out in the audience, congratulations there. You went through the Dodgers, which is all I care about. You also went through the Astros, went through the Red Sox, which is all Chris cares about. So
That's right.
Congratulations to the Braves. Way to get it done and give that championship back to hot Atlanta. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. This episode and every episode of the TCK Pod has been brought to you by Believe Podcast Network and the Bet Online for all of your online betting expert needs. Also, check out the Commish Bets episode as well every single week for your betting lines there. Want to give a shout out to my good friend Christopher Benavides and the Commish Fantasy Football Podcast crew. Wishing everyone the most luck this week here and turning it onto the second half. We will be back with you again Sunday morning live. Me, Bob, Buck, Levy, and Jordan will be back Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. West Coast, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. East Coast time right here on YouTube. Subscribe and get after it. We'll see you then. Enjoy Thursday Night Football for Christopher Benavides and the Commish Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Sky Guasco. We are out of here.